Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Fluency Matters 2024 podcast. I am your host, Kristy Placido, and I am here with the Fluency Matters Conference Director, Michelle Kindt, and our special guest today is Paulino Brener. Welcome, Paulino.
Welcome.
It's so nice to see you. So, Paulino, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you teach. What do we need to know about you?
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm excited. It's the first episode of this season. And what can I tell you? A long time ago, my father and my mother fell in love. And at that time, you know, how much do we have? We all love stories, right?
You know, we can edit this down, so just tell us anything you want.
Well, I'm originally from Argentina, but November 2022, I became an American citizen.
Yay.
After more than 20 years in the country. I'm a Spanish teacher and I'm also a performer. I do some acting and dancing. I've done that in Argentina and here. And if you see me in the classroom, you can see how that aspect of my lives, it's interwoven into what I do, because I think I'm very passionate about that. And when you bring that passion into the classroom, I think it's more enjoyable as a teacher and for the students. I'm also kind of an entrepreneur. I've been teaching before teaching. Now I teach full time at public schools. Right now I'm in high school with 3 sections of Spanish 2 and IB. So I could see a little bit of both worlds, the beginner, novices, and advanced classes. But before that, I've done a lot of online teaching as well, by myself in different companies, and also working with online teachers. In fact, one of my missions now is to work with online teachers to continue promoting ADI skills, acquisition-driven instruction skills in Spanish, because we have a lot of information in English, and I hope that other events come up in different languages. That's great. For example,
and you have an event coming up, don't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. April 15 to May 15, I'm doing an online conference called Adquisición en el Aula. Chan, chan, chan. Don't forget the chan, 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 because then you don't get anything. But what that means is bringing my passion that I already have in the context of the United States to other parts of the world that I'm connected with. Latin America, Spanish-speaking teachers of any language in Europe, and making the conversation bigger so that we can all grow together and exchange ideas.
I love that. So we've been really fortunate that you are kind of a recurring character in our Fluency Matters conference, and formerly the IFLT conference. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your role in the conference and what are you excited about for this summer's conference coming up?
Right. So this year, I'm going to be doing one part that is the same, and it's a language lab for Spanish teachers who want to improve their linguistic skills, their language skills. So basically Spanish for Spanish teachers. But because it's a language lab, it also helps as a model for other teachers of any language to observe CI or ADI, acquisition-driven instruction strategies implemented at an advanced level. So I'll be repeating that. And this year we are adding a workshop before the conference or the beginning of the conference that gives another opportunity for teachers who want to take it, and I know you do, to keep honing and improving their skills, especially now that, well, now things are a little more open, but teachers don't have as many opportunities to travel. Some teachers are Department of One. So this is an opportunity to collaborate, hear, practice, read all in Spanish in a relaxed environment. Also, because we have to take into account the context, applying the same strategies that we talk and learn and practice about at the conference.
It's going to be great.
I love this. I think it's so important for you to be doing this because I know so many teachers do not have confidence in their own language skills. And I just think it holds people back. And I think sometimes just having that opportunity to kind of jump into a language class like that is going to be enough to maybe make somebody go back into their classroom and just feel a little bit more confident and ready to grow a little bit in their own teaching. So I think that's really important that you're doing this.
And another aspect that I think it's also like a little cherry on the top is that both teachers who are participating in the class or observing they get to see the strategies implemented at an advanced level. They also get to hear the language that I use in that case to instruct for the instructions for the activities. And sometimes that's part of the trick as well, making sure that there are clear instructions. I mean, I'll do my best. They'll let me know if I do or not, but just hearing the language of the instructions themselves, not just the language of the reading, because sometimes teachers might get stuck on how to get my students to do a dance with me, and feeling more comfortable in those aspects themselves that help them keep the target language going, not just in the stories or information that we give as input, but in the language of instructions as well.
Yeah, it's really true. I wanted to just add one little thing that what you were talking about previously regarding the improved language skills and how they impact a teacher and the teacher's choices in the classroom. It's really powerful. The study that Vin, Weasley, and Neubauer did in 2019, it's in the Foreign Language Annals for those of you that would want to look that up. That's a study that said that there's a direct link between teachers' use of the language in the classroom. And I know this isn't rocket science, but there is a direct link between the teacher's use of their language in the classroom, and student improvement and student learning. And then something on piggybacking on that is there is also a link between language skills in the target language and self-efficacy. And self-efficacy really helps to build teachers' ability to try new things, to feel confident about what they're doing. And those things, as we continue to both, as you mentioned, teach them the strategies, but in addition, help them improve their language skills, we're just giving them a boost of that self-efficacy that helps them to move forward in their teaching and to be willing to try new, robust skills that will help them in their classroom. So I love it. And I'm excited about this aspect of the conference for that reason. So tell us a little bit more about dancing.
Well, I think that first of all, if we look at what is the essence of our classes, language and culture, and our big C, communication, and especially in the context of acquisition-driven instruction, we want that communication to be as real, as genuine as possible. And, sometimes it's a little contrived and forced, but we want it to be this back and forth. We're getting to know each other. This is who I am and my identity. This is who you are and your identity. And I think the more we can bring into the classroom as teachers that are genuine to ourselves, that are part of our identity, I think there's a little oomph there, a little extra quality in the experience of what it's being transmitted that students can really perceive. So my passion, it's dancing, and I've done it in many different settings, and I incorporate that not only as a cultural component, bringing dances from around the Spanish-speaking world, but as a movement. We have been sitting for too long, so it's important to move our bodies for opportunities to give instructions in the target language that are very contextualized. That I'm talking about the parts of the body, and so that makes it easier. So there's many different components, and I do it with because I'm passionate about it. Some other people might be more passionate about visual arts, and they might bring that into the classroom. So hopefully it's an example, not to say this is the type of dance and how you have to do it, but an example of how something that is very personal translate into what happens in the classroom. And it's a little bit of being that vulnerability of saying, I'm a human being and I'm here to communicate about who I am, and I'm interested to learn who you are. And I think that's the best kind of communication that could happen in the classroom.
It really is.
I love that.
What about, would you be willing to do some dancing at the conference with all of us, Paulino?
Anytime there is an opportunity to dance, we are there. So, you know, I'm sure there's going to be an argument, but I think dance is really the international language, because we all, you know, we don't need the words. We can communicate through movement, but also there is a community sense that music brings us, that music brings into us. So we can be in a circle, or we can just watch some people. We might not be dancers ourselves, but we can have this experience of enjoying other people dancing. But I do want to see you on the dance floor too. I think that not only culturally, but also as the experience of the community created at the conference, dance is one of the aspects that kind of tied us in, those little links there.
That's great.
I think that is one of my most favorite parts of this conference myself, is feeling the community build during the week. You know, it just, there's nothing like it. I mean, just you go home feeling like you've just made a bunch of new friends, and just seeing people get more and more comfortable as the conference goes on. For me, that's just so much fun.
It is. And I'm not I don't consider myself a dancer, but I really had fun when you've led dancing in the past for us, and we smile a lot and laugh a lot and just enjoy it. So thank you for all of your contributions, Paulino. I just want to remind everybody that Paulino's doing a pre-conference workshop for 3 hours of Improve Your Spanish for Spanish Teachers. And that's just going to be where he gets to just spend time teaching you, and you enjoying his time with you, with the dancing and all of it, everything that he does. And then during the week of the conference, he's going to be doing several classes that you can either participate as a teacher, or you can be observing for advanced level strategies. So I really appreciate you playing this double role, Paulino. And I think you are offering us an awful lot this conference, and we're so thankful that you're going to be a part of it.
Right. And for planning purposes, if people are thinking, oh, should I do one or the other? I think both would be beneficial. The main difference of the workshop is that it's going to be more of a, because it's the same people for the 3 hours, there's going to be more of a build up. So people will be able to see how one activity leads to another, and a reading, that connection. During the week, people might come and go, so there will be a variety of activities displayed, but not necessarily the same build-up that you would see in a novice class, where you can see from day one, they go through this vocabulary, go to the story or something like that.
Sure.
But it's still beneficial.
So I have a question. How would a teacher know if they're the right fit for your class? Like how does a teacher make the decision if they're maybe too advanced for the class or not advanced enough? How do they decide?
Well, you know, advanced classes, even I experience now in my IB classes, International Baccalaureate. Not only we know that there are individual differences, but also in the class, I have both year 1 students and year 2 students. So I'm kind of used to having to differentiate and having students of all different levels. So wherever you are as a teacher, come and just try it out, first of all. And also, as we mentioned, this is in the context of a conference that values strategies for communication. Is not a class where it's going to be not questioning, but evaluating what you're saying and how, but just having the experience to interpret and produce at different levels So it's not an evaluation of your language skills.
Right.
It's an opportunity for us to communicate and to experience some of the strategies, and I'll do my best to accommodate these differences. My advice is that people jump in as a student, and just like I do with my Spanish 2s and my IBs, there's always a sign to say, hold on a second. And that's a great experience, not only for all levels, but, for life. In life, we need to kind of understand our comfort level and act on it. In that class, it's a safe environment, it's just a gesture, and then I'll know that I can make adjustments. If after that, if they're trying a couple of strategies, it feels like it goes way too much, and it could be many other things. It might not be the language, it might be that you're tired. Then you can just say, you know what, I think I'll just continue the class observing, and that's okay, because we are in that kind of place. We are in that kind of place that we can try things out.
Nice. I like that flexibility. Low stakes.
That's right.
Michelle, do you have any other questions that you'd like to ask Paulino before we go?
I don't think so. Paulino, are you excited about coming to the conference and meeting people? I know that everyone last year, your reviews were fantastic. Everyone just said you were so much fun and you were so positive and you were so engaging. And I wish that I were a Spanish teacher so that I could go to your class to improve my Spanish skills. I would definitely be one of your lowest students if I tried to join you on that first day. But, just looking forward to it. Hopefully you are too. Tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for sharing those reviews. Last year I worked with teachers in professional development and also with Spanish in different places, but this was for me the first context of conference where there were not only participants but people watching and all the things coming together. And as a performer, and people have been performing for a long time, people think that the more you do it, then it's like, oh, the better or the easier it gets, right? That seasoned actors, they don't hesitate or don't get nervous when you get to the stage. And that's not true. You always get that tingling, right? Now, with experience, what it comes is solidifying or improving the basic skills, the foundational skills to be able to provide strategies that are based on acquisition. So when I first started, I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to be with teachers and I need to help them understand Spanish at advanced level. But then these other teachers, I was nervous about what it was going to be. And then I just took a deep breath and thought of my foundational skills, and it just be present and enjoy the moment. And that's what I'm looking forward to do again. And it might be a similar or completely experience. But I think that when you stay true to your nature and you fall back on those foundational skills that you use in language, Spanish 1, French 1, or advanced levels, I think that when things are more successful. So I'm very excited to see that process come alive again.
Well, we're really excited to see you and all of you out there. We're excited to see you this coming summer. And I would just really like to thank Paulino so much for being with us tonight. It's been so fun to talk with you. And I can't wait to see you in person. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks everybody.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Adios.